Yo, it's Kevin Chase. This is my weekly recap and outlook for DAX, the German index. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, this is the weekly candle. We actually had a very bullish week this week. We opened around 23,415 and closed at 24,250. If I go into the daily, you can see we actually had all bullish candles this week. Nice little rebalance. But before I break this down, first things first, we gotta look at the news. There wasn't that much news. There was just two red folders, 3 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, unemployment claims. Nevertheless, good opportunity. So coming into this week, I was actually looking for sells. I wanted these lows taken, and these were my levels. As you can see, my level just got absolutely ran through. I was expecting a rebalance of this huge move down, but as you can see, we just ran through these levels. So I'm just gonna delete them for now. But yeah, coming into Monday, we opened up here. Monday just held as low of the week and low of the day just held down here. Wakawasim, that's nice. Low of the day just held 11. We left behind this forward bullish failure up as well as this inverse, but this only got inversed after 7 p.m. a.m. If I go into the hourly, London session was pretty clean on Monday. Pretty easy buys. You can see the forward failure up respected. This 1 hour failure up got filled up at 7. And this failure up left behind at 3 a.m. just held. 8 a.m. pumped up and it carried on going. Coming to New York session, pretty sure New York session didn't really do much, if I'm being honest. It's a very clean OTE tap. Oop. Very clean OTE tap at bang on 3 p.m. Just carried on continuing. Left my nice little breaker block here, and it just continued. Honestly, this reached -1, even -2. Nice little OTE tap continuation for 3 p.m. on Monday. Coming to Tuesday, Monday closed around pretty high up. Where did it close? Around here. Leaving behind big forward failure up, as well as this is the key one. We left behind this small one here. If I just go into the hourly, you can see on Tuesday, again, 8 a.m., it was nice buys up until this hourly high, where we reversed. If I just go 8 a.m., AM originally reversed. Purely off of just order blocks. You can see we were in this humongous 15-minute order block here. We got this initial reaction at 8 a.m. off of this order block here. And then we had because the sweep break. So this order block here is what gave this initial reaction at 8. You can see we reversed, ended up sweeping 6 a.m. Where we at? Yup. This logo swept. Again, tap in OTE. Let me just drag that. Tap in OTE, swept this 9 a.m. Nice little sweep. And then bought up again until this hourly high. Once we took this hourly high, we reversed New York session, and it was news. Pretty sure, yep. If I just go into the 5-minute, once we took the hourly high, hourly liquidity sweep, perfect 5-minute OTE, I'm pretty sure, yep. This OTE was absolutely perfect at around 130, 115 held as high of the day, and we reversed. I can see this actually held. We we had news at 3 yeah, PMI news at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. You can see that left a little gap, fill the gap in later on, but either way this sell around quite a bit. 3 p.m. swept all this resting liquidity here, and you can see tapped into the forward fairly up that we left behind on Monday. Also tapped into this big forward inverse fairly up, which got inversed here. The middle of it got tapped perfectly, and we reversed and a sweep. This sweep's very strong. You can see after we did this humongous sweep, we broke structure here, here, and here. So it's like a triple break structure after that sweep, so it's very strong. Hence, you draw out Fibonacci tool, and you can see here it got tapped. But anyways, that was Tuesday. Tuesday again, very clean. Coming to Wednesday, we actually closed around here. Wednesday opened up. Wednesday opened up here. We actually came up to take out these highs. Let's just see. Took out this high here. And this was the last try. I'm gonna just draw out this order block because it's a pretty big order block here. You can see we just accumulated in it until we eventually did this huge move up. We can see we took out this hourly week high and reversed on Wednesday. I think this is London session. Yep, London session. That is nice little 15-minute inverse. Nice little fair value equilibriums, and yeah, you could have got this nicely moved down. Very clean price action until eventually we started reversing at 12.15 from this OTE, from this strong low, and this just held until -1, which is crazy. But on the hourly, it's a very clean OTE tap, even like 4-hour, to be honest with you. Not to mention, it was also equilibrium, of course, equilibrium here, and then OTE, and then equilibriums again tapped throughout. No, that wasn't a tap. But either way, that was Wednesday. New York session is kind of continuing after that OT tap that held as low of the day. And then we closed around here. Coming into Thursday now. Thursday was very clean. Thursday opened. Wednesday we left behind this nice 4-hour bullish rally up at 3 p.m. Yep. Thursday opened up, accumulated, came up. This was actually an A-star setup, so you can see prior to London session, let me just mark out London session. Prior to London session, we were bullish on the hourly, and if I go into the 4-hour, we also had a bullish break structure. So the 1 hour was bullish, the 4-hour was bullish, and if I just go into the 15-minute, you can see we had a nice 15-minute liquidity sweep at open, sweep inside of fairly up, like here, very strong. You can see the initial reaction. If I just go into the 1 minute, this is actually an A-star sell because the 4-hour was bullish, the 1 hour was bullish, 15-minute liquidity sweep at open or around open. You'd look for a break structure again. Where's the nearest break structure? Here, and then a fair value gap here, and then there's also equilibrium, and there's also, if you wanted to enter a bit earlier, perfect OTE tap at 8:30, around 8:30, very clean. And this trade literally ran quite a lot. You can see initial target would have been this high, 15-minute high, of course. That literally got taken within 30 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. Look at this amazing price action. And then it ran ultimately quite a lot. This is very, very clean price action. This is a star setup, honestly. But yeah, love to see it. Honestly, this setup happens 30, 40 times a year, and that's honestly all you need. Very clean. Love to see it. After this amazing setup, we came up. Started reversed around 10:30, which is fine. We're going to the daily now. We actually came up to the weekly open of last week's, and we started to reverse, which is interesting because it's also around the gaps. And then we also had a nice like 4-hour internal liquidity sweep. And we start to reverse, which is kind of understandable since we had this huge amazing price action to the upside. Yeah, you could have called this move down. On Thursday we had news at 1:30 p.m. Let me just mark that out. Didn't really do much. You can see didn't really do much. But once we had them liquidity sweeps, that held us high the day, 10:30, and we had this nice little strong 5-minute bearish candle, and you can see again accumulated, broke structure downside, came back up, of course tapped like a few equilibriums, whatnot. Coming to New York session, 2:30, could have caught this nice sell down. On the 1 minute, yeah, we had this nice little 1 minute gap inverse. Also OTE from this high, I believe. Yeah, let's draw this out. Yeah, this was literally at 2:40 p.m. and we just expanded lower. Pretty sure this held like -4. Yep. It's on the 1 minute though, but still a decent move. But that was Thursday. And then we came down for another 4-hour bullish fairly up. You can see here. Tapped out at 7 p.m. and then we ultimately reversed, closing quite high up on Thursday. Friday came up, filled in this 15-minute fair value gap, tapped this order block here, and reversed. Is a sweep, yep. Still in that 4-hour fairly up now. You can see Friday London session, we just swept this low, and this held as low of the day, which is fine. There was a nice there was a 5-minute OTE here at like 9:30ish. Let's have a look. Yep, 9:30. This ran a bit, on 0.6, edged this double highs, reversed at around 1 o'clock. Then we tapped equilibrium here at around 3 p.m. New York session-ish. I'm going to draw at 3 p.m. Edge this high. This is kind of a strong low because we broke structures kinda. It would have been classed as stronger if it broke structure here, but there's a big difference between like this sweep and the other sweeps that we've had just off of the 4-hour. You can see we swept this low and then closed here rather than sweeping this and then closing like up here. You can see sweep inside fairly up is very strong. Either way, we tapped OTE at 3 p.m. 2:45 on the 15-minute from this high, and then at 3 p.m. we gave this huge reaction upwards. 305, give this huge reaction upwards, and then eventually this would have been a drawn liquidity because yeah, no idea what this reaction was. And then OTE again got tapped. Perfect OTE on the 5-minute once again here at around 350. But yeah, that was literally it. That was price action for this week. As for next week, I am still looking for sells. I really liked the price action upwards. Thursday would have been a star sell. Let me just remove all drawings. I'm not fully convinced that we're going to carry on going for all-time highs. Reason being is because I don't think this is low of the week. I mean low of the month, sorry. I did say I wanted like this slow taken. Now it's more so I want this slow taken. So it's just really interesting. There was also this OT tap here, double OT tap, and then eventually after this, around 0.618. This week we did have this OT tap, as well as like it came up to the same level as the last week's bearish week. So the way I viewed this week was just a retracement. You can see, look at this reaction here on the 4-hour. We are in this range here. It's ranging a bit here. So I want it to just come for these lows. My drawn liquidities is gonna be this low, just this, because I don't think this is lower the month just yet. Where do I want sells from? Anywhere, honestly, anywhere just above here. It really depends what Monday does, because the way price action moved up here was quite strong, but at the same time this has to get rebalanced. There's like one of two options that can happen in my head, so I'm thinking we're either gonna take this high or this high and then reverse down, or we're gonna come down, rebalance these to around 24k, and then just go for all-time highs. Now, what I want to happen, obviously market don't care about what you want, is what I said originally, where I want this low to get taken, 23k, and then I want longs to all-time highs just off of the daily, just off of this not being low of the month, and this daily OTE holding, which is fine, which is what I'm gonna go for instead. But of course we adapt to whatever the market brings us. These lows will get taken very soon. You can see it's like almost double for our lows. It's not the same as this initial reaction, sweep and then pump, sweep and then like pump. But yeah, I want this slow taken, so I'll put green line there. And then I want buys from, honestly, from this daily high. I expect Monday to come up, sweep this daily high, and then reverse. And what price is that? I'll just make it purple, honestly. I want sells from here. $24,300. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, no. That's the DAX recap. Keep it clean and simple. And I'll see you next week.